Welcome back to this week's episode of the After Party Podcast. My name's Connor Maroney and I'm joined by my co-host Andy Hudson. How you going today, brother?
Yeah, good, bro.
Good to hear, mate. It's been a big week and a lot of it has been involved. I've had to change a lot of shit in my life, mate. I've had to try and change my brain arguably completely so that I can live my life's dream of being the biggest loser. And
being under 100 kilos.
Being just, somewhat healthy. But yeah, I've been cutting out a lot of shit food. The drinks kind of got me on the weekend. I only had like 6 or so, but they were like fucking...
What drinks were they?
They were better beer, 0 carbs, 0 sugar.
That's fucking bullshit.
What do you mean?
Something's in there. There's no way it's 100% healthy. There's no way it's like the...
Well, like, I guess you get the calories from like alcohol itself, but like 0 carbs, 0 sugar, that's pretty like good as far as fucking beer goes. That's better than a pure blonde.
Yeah. What was it? Pure blonde, 0 carb?
No, they're 80% less carbs.
Okay.
That's what I was saying. Like, credit to Inspired Unemployed. Fucking, they created better beer. And
I trust that. I think there's something in there.
You reckon there's something weird?
Well, it's like, they do... No, I'm not saying they're putting fake sugar in it, but it's always like, oh, Coke 0 or 0. You never trust something that's 0. That's like beer. Like a vodka soda ends, it's kind of just like soda water and vodka.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I know. It does sound wild, but... That's what they fucking say.
The scales will tell us the truth.
The scales will tell us the fucking truth, unfortunately.
You can't lie to the scales, big boy.
And then I ended up having a few more vodka soda ants. So I kept it all pretty chill.
That's fine. That's above board in my books.
Yeah, I've been hitting the gym a little bit as well. But I've got this feeling that like, so my aim, right, so I weighed in at 108.2 kilos last week. I figured out like a kind of a pathway to glory. Yep. And I feel like this week I need to weigh in at 105 or under.
You've worked out week to week what you need to be hitting.
Well, I'm thinking like game plan from here is I'm really hoping 105. If I'm above 105 today, I'm going to be disheartened.
How are you feeling? Do you feel like 105?
Yeah, I feel good. Good.
Yeah, you're looking 104-ish.
Yeah, I'm hoping 104.
104-ish.
Bruh, so yeah, I'm thinking 105 this week. If I crack that, then I reckon the second week's where I'm going to do some serious damage.
You're going to hit your strides.
Yes, and so that's what I'm thinking. If I crack 105 today, I'm going to crack the ton following week.
Well, do you want to do the weigh-in?
Should we just do the weigh-in now?
In here.
What was that?
I'll bring the scales in here.
Yeah, or I was going to strip.
Okay.
I can strip in here, I suppose.
Hella close.
Yeah, fuck it. Rightio, the weigh-in is coming behind the bar, I suppose. I'm going to start stripping off for you. I think I've actually got I think I've got some good music for this strip show. Give me 2 secs.
Music?
Yo, no, that's...
Not the fans, dude.
Yeah, bro, I'm going to get these kilos.
Yeah,
it's the fucking
belt.
biggest loser, cunt.
I'm taking those headphones off. That's way too central. Right,
I know.
Get this to be.
Not exactly where I wanted it to be. There was a lot of beeping around in that. I feel maybe we give that one another go. I feel I'm very
as many times.
Yeah. No, I'm just in a weird position here. I didn't even know what I was doing there. Yeah. So we're gonna try that one again.
I mean, it's pretty cut and dry, the old scales.
I know, but this scale's like 40 fucking years old and we can't even turn it on.
Exactly the same. Literally.
Yeah, no, that's all good.
That's all good.
Rightio, so that's 105.9.
105.9. Yeah.
So what's that? Yeah, that's about like 2 and a bit, 2.5 kilos. 105.9. Hey, it's
105.9. The fattest radio channel.
The fattest radio channel. Diddly-doo. Hold on, I'm going to get semi-closed. Actually, you're meant to be on the game train.
Okay.
So what were you at last week?
74. Oh, no, 73.
73?
73. Should I take my shoes off?
Yeah. I think we can both get naked behind you.
This gets like banned for like...
Yeah, if not, we're just getting with each other or some shit. Yeah, fuck, I'm not super stoked with that, but, you know...
Kilos are kilos, and you lost a couple, so...
Kilos are kilos, and I feel like
so
there's so many variables.
Now do the math, what you were talking about before, what you kind of needed before.
Yeah, so I was thinking 105, then I could maybe... I don't know now. I don't know anymore. Again, I'm semi-disheartened.
Watch out. Oh, fuck.
Hey, odds weighing in. This isn't a great audio experience, I'm sorry.
Someone's getting changed and then I'm...
Yep, and Ahud is at 73.7. So to be fair,
good.
Pretty shit week from the boys.
I don't know.
If you think about it, like what, I lost 2.5 kilos in what, six days?
That's pretty good.
And then you put on 700 grams.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know. I feel like we're going to fucking get a little bit more. But I didn't have my fucking Michelle Bridges this week, so like I need that extra motivation, bro.
Dude, I had a fucking DUI. You know that.
Wait, what?
I had a DUI.
Michelle Bridges, king of the DUIs.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not the best week.
I'm actually gonna put a promise in that next week I'm gonna hit. Sorry about this. I reckon next week, if I don't get 105.9, let's say this: if I'm not in the 10, if I don't crack 102. I'll give myself a maximum leniency of like 102.5 or something like that.
Yep.
If I'm not 102.5 under, there's got to be a punishment of some description.
Okay.
And what would that be?
It's got to be physical activity of some sort.
Maybe some sort of physical activity.
Maybe like, when's the next show? Next week. Oh.
Next week.
Bro, and we're getting on the piss on the weekend.
We are getting on the piss on the weekend.
Drinking, you're going to be fucking...
Just won't eat.
Pizzas and shit.
No, I'm going to be eating pizzas. I'm going to be living it to a T. Fair, well, I mean, yeah, it was a shit week, I suppose. But, no, I mean, still, we're losing weight. We're losing weight. That's the aim of the game. Yeah. But, I mean, I'm losing weight, which is the aim of the game at the end of the day. So, it's good. Let us know if fucking anyone else is joining on with me and getting sexy for fucking summer, aka my winter, really. But anyway, fuck it. That's the biggest loser period for now. I think the repercussions, Andy's going to brew them up and think of some throughout the next week. So that when we do get there, if I don't hit my target, then I'm going to have to face the wrath of the male Michelle Bridges.
You're fucked.
Yeah. And then we've got a sick interview with Western Force vet Sam Wykes. For those that don't know him, he's spent a lot of time in Super Rugby, played over 100 caps, playing for the Western Force, also the Sunwolves in Japan, Panasonic Wild Knights, heaps of sick stories. And if you do know him, fucking good on you, I guess. You get a little bit of dessert as well with this body. So, yeah, stick around for that. That'll start the sec. So we're going to keep it the same way we have with our other interviews and just kind of slot them in between. So, yeah.
You better bring it, man.
Yeah, I will, mate. I will. Anyway, we got a great interview coming up with Sammy Wykes, as previously mentioned. So make sure you jump on. We're going to be coming back after the interview as well, and we'll round the show up. So, yeah, fucking follow Sammy on everything on Instagram and get around him. Hope you like the interview.
Bang.
And today we have a great guest, the man, the myth, the legend, an absolute rugby vet, Sam Wykes. How's it going today, bro?
Oh, mate, appreciate the intro. I'm all good, bro. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, Orith, mate, keen to have you on, mate. I've watched you most of my life, actually, playing footy, so it's sick to have a yarn, bro. And it looks like you're killing it at the moment. Tell us a little bit about the show you're running at the moment, the Pacific Sports Show on ABC.
Yeah, it's sort of, come out with ABC. What's that, 12 episodes in now, and it sort of just came off the cuff. A bloke gave me a call. Said he was from ABC. I thought it was a G-up. And And he just said, mate, we've got this Pacific Sports Show. You know, would you mind coming and bloody have a rehearsal? I was like, oh yes, sweet as. And it was just off. Like I was like, oh, did you watch like the Super Rugby? You know, for the commentary, because I was doing some stuff with Greg Clark with the Drua. And he goes, nah, mate, I actually found you on YouTube. You were bloody with Nick Cummins doing some stuff. You know, like doing some surfing. Princess for that forwards versus backs segment they used to do on Fox, and I was like, hey, that was about bloody 12 years ago, and he thought it was only a few years ago.
Oh, really?
So obviously, I haven't changed myself with me head like this, but it's good, man. I'm enjoying it. Geez, raw as with it too. Like it's the first time, like the auto cue and stuff like that.
Yep.
Those prompters and you know, I was in special ed at school, so my reading skills weren't great, and and trying to read something that moves, and trying to like, you know, not look like you're reading. It was those first few episodes, or even now still, but I'm really enjoying it, bro. Like it's really good fun.
Bro, that's awesome. And I also saw, I was watching it the other day, and I saw that your cousin, is that right? He's not bad at footy himself. So he signed with the Dolphins?
Dolphins, yeah. Isaiah Katoa, yeah. He's so his brother Sione played for Penrith Panthers and the Doggies, and played for Tonga against those wins against Australia and New Zealand. The younger brother is doing really well, Isaiah. He's got a pretty big future if he lives up to the hype, mate. He's going to have a long and successful future. And it was fun doing that interview with him, man. Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, that's so sick. And with that, I guess he's starting in Union, because he's playing Aussie Schoolboys, yeah. Yeah,
so it's a Union. They're from Wellington in New Zealand, mate. They're born and bred Union, but I guess coming over to Sydney in Australia, like it's. You know, I guess he really wanted to go down the Union path, but my league's just in your face everywhere. He went to Patrician Brothers at Blacktown first. It seems like the pathway is just so clear. You know, you play Harold Matts, you play SG Ball, you play Flegg, you play New South Wales Cup, you play NRL. You know, like that's sort of the pathway. Whereas in Union, it's still a bit, you know, murky on which way you should go to get to Super Rugby. So I think it was just sort of a natural progression once he moved over here. That's where he was going to end up.
So will you automatically adopt the Dolphin fandomship? Yeah, jump on that, or do you have a league team?
Mate, I'm actually a Doggy supporter. Like
that's so good.
Yeah, but when I was growing up, so I grew up out in Blacktown, Layla Park, Blacktown area here in Sydney, and you know, back then it was the Dogs of War. Back then, when Sonny Bill first bursted on the scene as a 17-year-old, it was Willie Mason, Matty Utai, Nigel Vanga. That was I just idolised that, you know, and sort of stuck with it. But I wouldn't say I'm like a really big league supporter, but. If I go back to it, those days I just supported like the Dogs like that. Big Willie Mason as well with the hairdo. So
they won that year, I'm pretty sure, didn't they? I think that was the first grand final I remember.
And then I think they had the salary cap issue and stuff
Dogs.
like that. Yeah, they had some. They were pretty entertaining to watch. Yeah, I just enjoyed it.
Bro, I was going to ask. So, like, I think it works well on the topic of your cousin moving to league from Union. It's obviously like very fair, and you've explained like how appealing NRL is at the moment. What would you do personally, like just through your own experiences, to kind of make that more appealing to stay within the Union pathway and keep our players such as Kalen Ponga, and the list goes on?
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? I think there's a lot of issues, you know, things that just need to be fixed, but I guess it's hard. Like coin's obviously a big one.
Yeah.
Mate, almost like Australian rugby is a big academy for overseas at the moment. You just look at the Japan squad with Dylan Riley, Jack Cornelison, and Ben Gunter, who are, you know, all Australian. Didn't really
played with all three of those boys actually.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
And now they're bloody starting for Japan. Pretty much, you know, their international side, week in, week out for Panasonic, because I was playing with them at Panasonic over there. And there's so many young guys come through. I remember sitting down with my cousin and like Pet Cow and Robbie Abel. We're just going through the blokes who came through the Aussie system. You had Jared Warrior Hargraves. He was Union. He played Aussie 19s and with us. He was in that Central Coast team that won the first ARC. Big Nemani Nondolo. He was out in our Aussie 20s team. Then he's played for Fiji. Who else was there? Oh, mate, the list went on. Jack Lamb as well. Selala Lamb, they're playing for Samoa. It's sort of like, how do we? And then you just look at the current players. Joseph Suaalii, Connor Murray, or one of them. Sort of all those type of players. How do you keep them? And it's obviously league is, as I said, it's just in your face, and making the pathways clearer. Like I was helping out with the 16s, New South Wales 16. Sorry, no, it wasn't New South Wales 16s, but there's like New South Wales Gem Blue, New South Wales 1s, New South Wales 2s, New South Wales Invitational, Sydney Country, and I was just like, what are like all these?
Too much shit.
There's so much going on, and it just doesn't seem clear. And look, I think what drives league and AFL is tribalism. At the moment we've got 5 Super Rugby teams. I think, is it too many? I don't think so. It's just it's complicated on just where to go. Like there's 5, so we are going to miss out on a lot of players. And club footy, like I feel like when you go to I went to GPS footy games. They've got 15,000 to their games. Joey's and Kings game, 15,000. You look at the Nudgy games up there; they're just packed full of talent. Then you look at like Manly versus Warringah. You can get 10,000 to 20,000 on the hill, North Sydney Uni. So there's that there. But then they're saying, is the gap too big between club footy and super? I don't know. For me, I'd just love for you to just throw all the coin at the club footy teams. You've got 12 there, and have our best coaches here, because a lot of our best coaches are overseas as well. So then, like, we just keep we're not developing those right, like all the players, and just sort of allow them to be semi-professional, and then hopefully go into a Super Rugby team. But I guess even that's got its own problems. But it's not an easy fix, I don't think.
No, for sure.
What about
my remedy lately? I've been proposing this. Is I reckon Union needs a fucking draft, like just like the AFL, just like the NBA, straight out of school, rank your Colts and high school players from 1 through to wherever, and have a draft system where you get looked after a professional rugby team, you get put in those wider training squad programs straight away, and whether it even is 5-10 grand here or there, just to look after them and give them a bit more time to train, so they don't have to work as much or anything around it. That's my fix. He doesn't fucking like it. But
the problem is what would happen.
I rate it. Like if you did adopt that the American model, like we've got plenty of universities here with bulk coin. Obviously Sydney Uni is one example where they actually do have a team. Like Western Sydney University is massive, and you probably could do it like that. I don't know. Even TAFE is TAFE is huge. Where if you're not going to uni, you got and stuff like that, the tradies that have a team, so you don't miss out on that market. Like, hope something needs to be sorted. Something drastic,
definitely, for sure, man. And so for you, I mean, you entered into Super Rugby in the glory days, I'd say, at the Western Force, and like the Western Force at the time was just such a new project for everyone involved, and it's birthed some of our greatest footy players since then. What was that sort of like for you, being like young as entering into your professional rugby career and entering into, I guess, an organization trying to figure itself out and work itself out?
Man, it was like you're right, they were the glory years, because I felt like that 07 to 2011 period, there was still boys playing, like, or men, who were part of the old school, who like, Gitz, Sharpie, Matty Dunning, Junior Pelasasa, like all those type of guys who grew up with the guys who were sort of amateur. So they had that mentality where if you drank with the boys, you get up with the men, and, it was a badge of honor, like that type of stuff. And obviously understand it needs to change now, but like it was such a, like when I look back at that time, it was unreal. Like growing up, as I said, out in Layla Park, Blacktown, mate, it was, not affluent at all out there. There's no beaches at all. And then when an opportunity came up to go to the Force, living in Scarborough and City Beach, really nice areas, and you just go, oh shit, that person said hello to me. Usually they're running away from us. They're like, oh, he said hello. And then living near the beach was unreal. And my first two roommates was Nick Cummins, the Badger, and James Stannard, who's now the men's coach, assistant coach. Obviously, the Badger's doing some, pretty cool stuff at the moment. But they were my roommates, and we stayed roommates for a long time. Well, me and Camo did, and Chuck had a missus. But yeah, we it was just all raw. Like everything was just, how good's this? Like, he just, I watched these guys 12 months ago, just idolized. Now I'm in the same meeting room as them. And John Mitchell was a different coach. I would say he just loved footy, so he was intense.
Yeah. Snap a clipboard type of guy.
Yeah, mate, he used to have this bloody whiteboard when you walked into a team room. Like, you just had a tick or cross up on there next to your name.
Oh, fuck.
So you just walk in straight away and you just see your name on there. If you got a tick, or you did well for the week. If you had a cross, you were shit house, and if you were injured, you had an automatic cross. So it was just where you played mind games. But honestly, unreal time being there at the Force.
Was there any repercussion for the cross? Like, did that mean anything? Like, you had to fucking...
One sec, I think we might have lost him. Brilliant. So this episode of the After Party podcast was brought to you by our proud sponsor, the Lad Collective. So Sammy, mate, this is a company that was started by two of my best mates, brothers, and the biggest idiots you've ever fucking met in your life. And I don't know how they're running a business, but they're killing it. And what they've done, mate, is they're making sheets good for blokes again. They reckon that nobody in the bedroom can fix out their whole bedroom situation. So what they've got is bottom left, bottom right, top left, top right tags on the sheets to make sure you're putting them in the right area.
Is that your mate's company?
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
I've seen that, bro, because that's one of my pet hates is fitted sheets.
Bro, we are getting you hooked up this week. We're going to get a pair sent out through to you. 100%, bro. And almost we need to get a second pair for bloody Cummings by the sounds of things. I was about to mention his shitty bedroom situation before. In his 20s, he needed the Lad Collective, or else he was just pulling Perth chicks back to the shithole.
Yeah, mate. He did all right too between the sheets, but anyway.
Oh, brilliant, bro. Well, it sounds like you already know the goss when it comes to these sheets, and we'll get a pair sent out through to you, man. But yeah, basically anybody that wants to grab a pair as well, you can get $20 off your first order if you use the code AFP20. I repeat, AFP20 at checkout, and you'll get $20 off your first order at the Lad Collective. So check them out, and Sammy will get a pair out through to you.
Oh, I appreciate that, lads. Unreal. I'll be sure to get on the website as well.
Awesome. Back to the pod.
Goodness.
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Fuck, sorry, boys.
No, that's so chill, bro. You should see the fuck ups we've had in the past, bro. Oh my God. Absolute shit show half the time over here. What were you asking?
Oh yeah, I was just going to say, was there any repercussion or implication of the cross? Like, did that, was that mean like you had to do something extra that training, or?
On the whiteboard.
Or that was just to flesh it out. That was just to put you on blast, basically.
It was a bit of both. Like he like Johnny Mitch did play a fair few mind games, especially if you were injured. Like he just found that he fought a lot with the physios, right? So like, say if you had a tight hammy and or whatever, like you'd either pull out one session and you'll be right for the next one, or the physios, mate, if he trains, he's going to bloody risk it, and it could tear something. It's like it'd almost go, nah, you'll be right. Let him go. If he wants to do it, let him go. You go, oh fuck. And then we used to have we had the Johnny Donoghue, the Melbourne Storm grappling coach as well. He used to come, and so so Fridays was honestly, oh mate, that was some of the most brutal sessions I've ever done in my life. Like straight up, like it just it was like in the morning on that Friday, you do conditioning games and hills into this circuit you would have about half an hour break, and then you'd do this grappling session with Johnny Donahue there. They called him Johnny Snapper, on like inside the PCYC shed, about 40 degrees in there. And after you finished that, you had to do another pump session. So it was like five sessions on that Friday. And you just, after it, you're just bloody questioning life. Like, is this me? But it's like, so you could miss the whole week and do that Friday grappling session and you would get a tick, So, and then, but you could do the whole week and not do that Friday session, and you'd automatically get a cross because that was your tough session, that was your honesty session, and you just wanted to know if you're a man or a mouse. And so,
the fact that Melbourne Storm have a grappling coach, though.
What's that?
I was saying the fact that Melbourne Storm have a grappling coach makes a lot of sense. They love to lie all over the rock. I don't know if every team has that, but the Melbourne Storm makes sense.
Oh, mate, it was brutal. But the only blokes who got away with it, and obviously, which was understandable because they were the rock stars, was Matty Giddo. I remember doing some sessions where like we were on the field and we had to do that grappling session when the PCYC gym wasn't available, and the Wallabies just come back from their spring tour. He just looks like, nah, I'm not fucking doing that. And he's there goal kicking in the background, and we're just getting flogged. But you go, yeah, fair play. He's without him, we're not winning. So
yeah, that's good. So that you're just gonna cop him.
He's just kicking goals.
Yeah. Bro, I was gonna ask. So I feel like everyone has that sort of moment. Like maybe it's their first game, maybe it's the second or third. But what do you reckon for you was like oh fuck, like welcome to Super Rugby moment? Like, was it like anything where you got like decked by someone or like a big player that you'd burst against and gone, oh shit?
Yeah, I reckon that I guess the whole preseason.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to do like a preseason with the Tars before I left.
Yeah.
But I guess coming out of and I sort of understood you don't get fit in preseason. You have to be fit as you get there. And I made that mistake probably coming out of Aussie Schoolboys.
Yep.
05, and then I did a preseason with the Waratahs Academy. And mate, as you do when you finish up school and 17, you just finished the Australian Schoolboys tour. Oh, he introduced the bloody you having beers and stuff. Yeah, sweet, I'll be right. I remember doing the speed session in the morning with the Tars and weight session because I had to do all hyper because they go, mate, you're bloody lanky, you need to put on weight. I remember spewing up doing the speed session. Like I just like doing the running A drills and repeat speed, and I had to go to the toilet and I threw up. I was like, holy shit. And then in the afternoon we did this fitness, and then I was just like, I was coming last, and I just hung in there and like I didn't get injured, but from that point until 2005 or 6, whatever it was, I understood when I went to like any preseason that I needed to be in decent shape
before you get there.
Yeah, not that my rig ever showed it. I've bloody got a but yeah, I knew I had to be in some decent shape to be able to go through.
Was Matt Dunning in that team? Am I correct in saying?
Matt Dunning came 2010.
Oh, I was going to say, you were coming last.
Yeah, not at the force, I was sweet, but like Matt Dunning was there in when I was at the Tars, my first preseason. But all the Wallabies, they missed out on that first preseason block because they did spring tour.
Yeah. Okay.
But Matt Dunning went all right. He had a good motor for a big man. He might have looked, his face gives it away. Well, not now. He's bloody lost about 80 kilos. But his face might have looked like, a bit chubby. But, mate, he actually had a really good motor and strong in the gym. He was like a 170 bencher.
Far out. And bro, like being matched up with Sharpie, I would imagine has got to be like the best possible introduction as a lock into professional rugby. Like, was he fantastic to have for like the little intricacies of the position at such a young age?
Yeah, he was, bro. I idolised Sharpie, and that was obviously the big driver why I wanted to go to the Force. He was there, and the thing I loved about Sharpie as well, he was so humble, man. Like he was the leader. He's a big man, and I just remember when he first came back from the spring tour, and I met him for the first time, and we're running hills together, and he was just asking like, just how you going, where you from? Just all those little things that like, oh, bro, this guy's talking to me. Like even though we're on the same team, but I was like, oh, this guy's talking to me. How good's this? And then, like I remember as well my debut game. I started at 6 in Bloemfontein against the Cheetahs, 2008, and we won that game. And I was sort of like, there was Scotty Favour said, Mac, and then the next day, because Johnny Mitch, again, if you won, you got to probably enjoy yourself after the game. If you lost, you knew what was coming on Monday. It was full contact. But, we won that game. And then so we travelled back to Durban and we had a big Sunday session. I just remember Sharpie was a place called Joe Cool's there on the beachfront in Durban. And he just comes in. There was on the menu, there was like a wheelbarrow full of beers. And then they just sort of like, what do you mean a wheelbarrow? And bro, Sharpie just comes in wheeling this wheelbarrow full of about 100 beers, and then we've just cracked it open in South Africa, Durban. Just played my first game. Me, Camo, Chucky, Pet Cow, and we're just like, oh, boys, this is living. This is living. We've made it. I don't care. We've made it. But yeah, that's the type of I loved about Sharpie, bro. He was awesome for those little things.
Yeah, one of the funniest things I remember in 2015 at UQ, we went on our rugby tour to England, and we followed the Wallabies, and we also played Oxford, Cambridge, and Loughborough. And whilst that was happening as well, whilst we were touring, UQ did golden oldies as well. And so Sharpie was playing with all these dads. And I remember he played against Cambridge and Oxford. And I remember all these sort of fat middle-aged men who haven't played footy in 30 years running out on the field. They're playing 10s as well. And so they're running out there. And then I just remember seeing Sharpie run out there, and everyone's like, what the fuck? You can't have Sharpie out here. And he was just cutting dads in half, bro. Just ruining everyone. It was fucked.
So serious.
Oh, he was killing them. It was 50-year-old
Yeah,
man.
because he would have only just retired.
Oh, dude, Sharpie was wearing the full blue headgear, ready to rock.
Taped up.
Mate, doing contact with him as well, those big second rows, I'm tall, but not they're long as well. So you're trying to do those chop tackles, and he runs that low, and when he made the tackle, he still lands back over the advantage. It's such a they're so hard to tackle by bodies like him.
Yeah, man. As well, I was going to ask somebody who I idolized at the time, and you would have seen it firsthand. And I wonder if this ever had an effect on you with your training and whatnot, is the psycho that is David Pocock. And at the time, I just know that when he was entering into the force, he was just training out the wazoo, hitting the gym nonstop, passing, no matter what he could fix, he would try to fix in his game. Did you notice that at the time? And was it good to have guys like that around you to kind of motivate you and kind of get those extras in?
Yeah, I remember, so I got to know Polly pretty well through age group stuff as well. So when he first migrated from Zimbabwe and came over, he played for Queensland in the 16s. And I'll never forget, just seeing this built unit, muscles, bro, muscles on a 16-year-old like that. I was just holy dooly, and then I remember as a 16-year-old, he was on the ground, and I remember just I think I cleaned him out, or he was just and I put my hand on his stomach to get up. It was it was concrete, you know what I mean? You put your hand through mine, you'd feel my spine. But and then got to know him through we're in the AIS together, Aussie schoolboys, Aussie 19s, and then eventually at the force. And mate, his work ethic was relentless. He was just it was an obsession, to a certain degree, and you talk about wanting to have guys like that in your team. Here's a guy you wanted in your team, because when you suited up with someone like him, and we had those plays, you just know when you suit up, even when the force were down, and when you looked over and you saw him getting ready, you're at least we've got a shot here. If he's in our team, we've got a shot. And obviously, I know he's got political views, and obviously he's a senator now, and obviously he's got stuff around. Yeah, off field, he never forced it on anyone. Even when the whole Izzy Folau thing was coming out, he was saying that people wanted him to make a comment, but obviously he just he does him. That's what I loved about it. He didn't force views. He just does him, and he'll speak up when he needs to. And he stays humble. He works hard, and he'll make sure that if you're going to question him, you better make sure you've got something there, because I guarantee you're not, because his work ethic, his mindset, his morals, everything are just all aligned to like, okay, he's the man, bro. I love that guy to death, bro.
Yeah, awesome, man. And it sounds like you spent a lot of your early days there with Cummins, as you said, which I could imagine would have just been wild. Like, I guess you would have known that he would have been a nutter when you first met him. But I guess, like, watching his progression, like, throughout, I guess, being sort of one of Union's, like, biggest stars, I suppose, like, from a personality point of view, what was it like just kind of being next to that the whole time? And then I'd also ask a follow-up question. Surely you guys were all like, what the fuck? And I had to give him heaps of shit once he got on The Bachelor.
Mate, it was like everyone asks, is that what he's like? Surely he's enough. And I was like, mate, that is him to a T. And if you get all of his brothers and his old man, it just shit just goes over your head, and you go like, what the hell are they on about? Yeah. And mate, all that sort of rhyming slang, like I knew a little bit, but not to that degree. But now, like, it just, yeah, like I understood a new language when I was like moved with him. But mate, he's one of the most simplest blokes you come across. I just like he was the opposite of in terms of professionalism, in terms of like detail. Like, coaches either loved him or hated him.
Yep.
Like, and coaches really struggled to understand him, because they footy wasn't actually a priority for him. He actually, like, he said from day one, like, honestly, when we were 18, he was 19. He goes, you know what, bro? I want to make $1 million, and I'm gonna retire at about 27. And I was like, bro, we haven't even got a cap. You know, you're already talking about retiring. And then, like, it was just, I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then, like, even like, here's the reason why I got my license, because I didn't have a driver's license when I went to Perth.
Yep.
And so I was relying on him for lifts. And mate, you talk about you're sweating bullets when you want to be on time with that guy. Like, we would be like, hey, come over, we need to be at training at 8. He goes, yeah, no worries. It's bloody 7:45, and then he's just got out of bed, and he had this Weet-Bix, had about 14 Weet-Bix in this one brown bowl, and he'll just make it. And I was like, bro, we don't have time for Weet-Bix. He goes, nah, she'll be right. I could sweating bullets. I was like, bro, we're going. He goes, nah, no worry, mate. Like, and I was like, oh my God. So that's why I got my license, because I couldn't rely on him for any lifts. So I thank him for it. I better get my license. But yeah, just so simple. Like, and it's funny how he ended up on The Bachelor, because if you had saw those early days of our, I guess, Bachelor pad, mate, he was a genuine, like a grub, in terms of he had like a mattress on the floor in the middle of his room, and then it was just washing around the bed.
Oh, right.
And so he wouldn't know if it was clean or not, like, because he would just sort of like do it, and he would just sort of like pick around the bed. Oh yeah, that's clean. We go from there. God. In terms of mate, it just feels, but honestly, one of the best blokes you could ever come across. Like, he taught me a lot about just sort of relaxing a little bit, because I used to like get a bit nervous for game day.
Yep.
I tried to keep to a lot of rituals and shit like that early on, but I'm telling you that he would even say he had we had this play off a scrum where you'd see he scored a couple of tries off it, like a blindside winger just coming off the halfback's hip off a scrum. And mate, he used to hit that line that hard and that pace and get over the advantage line. And he would come off the field and goes, fuck, bro, I forgot the move. So as it was unfolding, I knew I had to be there. So if I just had to hit it at pace, because I forgot. So I didn't want to get shown up in the team review. But that was him. Like, he'd be talking about, like, you're there. I was getting ready for because we played in Coke together in Japan.
Yep.
Over there, the same. And then I'm just getting ready for the game, as normal. And then, like, about maybe half an hour till we go on the field, he goes, oi, bro, you want to go to Mongolia? And I was like, what? Goes, yeah, I'm going to go to Mongolia. I'm going to Mongolia on after the game. I've booked it already. You want to go? I was like, man, I've got my wife and kids. We're not going to Mongolia. just real random stuff.
He's just a nomad.
Yeah, mate, heart of gold. We'll do anything for anyone, and just, mate, I'm glad to be able to call him like a really good mate, because he helped me with like things like investing and shit like that. Like I wouldn't have even had a clue until he started talking about that type of stuff.
Yep.
I just thought it was all like what rich people did, but he goes, nah, mate, anyone can invest. Like, look at this. I've bloody invested in this and that. And you get up in the middle of night, I swear, 19 years old, Western Force, you get up to go do a piss and you have a look in his room, he's got his laptops on. Is he trading on the stock market from overseas or whatever? So,
no, it's just everywhere.
Bro, like stuff like that, bro. And you go, bro, what are you doing? And he goes, nah, mate, I'm just going to go on do this trade. And I was like, no, I'm trading.
Got like glasses on.
Yeah, really good fun.
Oh, that's so funny. What's interesting with that as well, I'd like to hear your take on it, is like, I know like Australia, it's tall poppy syndrome. Nobody really wants to like speak too much out of turn, and nobody really wants to hear that from a fan perspective. But at the same time, you see every time that a player does do it when they've got the talent to match it, it ends up working very well for them. For example, right now, Taniela Tupou, he's funny as, and now he's broadcasted on every Stan Sport ad. And Nick was the same with that, where his personality got him a lot of opportunities off the field. Yep. Do you think that like players should look at their sort of off-field sort of career a little bit more, and potentially in those media sort of instances show themselves a bit more and have more fun with it, rather than being the down and narrow, straight and narrow sort of vibe? Because I just feel like we see it in America, we see it definitely in league and other Aussie sports, that when you kind of act like yourself, have a bit of fun with more of it, opportunities do arise for other things like marketing tools.
Oh, I think it's 100%, mate. And you need characters in the game, and I think the big onus as well is on the coaches that you get, because they'll probably be the ones that want to rein that stuff in, because and it's about finding the balance, because if that off-field stuff does impact your on-field, well then, mate, 100% you need a check on the shoulder there. Yeah, just saying, hey mate, look, obviously you've got some good stuff happening, but the reason why you had that stuff happening is because you were playing good on the field. So don't forget that part of it. And as I said, like I think you said, guys like Quady, James O'Connor, those guys were probably ahead of the game when they first came out and started talking about their brand and stuff like that. And because even that's out there, but when you look at it now, like it's I think it's important that boys have another outlet, because when you transition out of footy, like I know I went through it myself, like it is actually hard. Like all you've known whole life is schedule, being told what to wear, where to be. Even when you go on tour, you're not even responsible for your own passport. So you do get babies. You're on autopilot. And so like boys who like, and I love watching like Bloke in the Bar, YKTR, those type of, even boys doing potties or whatever, because you're learning a different skill when you're leveraging off your profile, and you should have every right to do that, because the club's doing that. They're leveraging off your profile. Like they'll want to have your, poster plastered, for the kids to be able to be inspired and do that. But I do feel like there's still a long way to go with getting that balance right, but making sure that you allow characters like Nella, and he's good too, bro. He's a Tongan fellow straight from Tonga. And I love that his representation in that space is awesome, because people like, obviously with English being a second language, until they either say they're fresh. Some of those boys would never want to do an interview. We've had because it's like scared of not having English and being shy.
Definitely.
But seeing someone like him just do that, get in front of the camera, have a bit of a laugh, I think it's unreal, and I think we need more personalities like that in the game.
Yeah, definitely. I think you're completely right on that. It does remind me when it's crazy. It's so good how like Nella is gaining that confidence now to do that, because as you said, when he first came over in Red's 20s, I remember when he first came over from NZ, he was fresh as at the time, like the way that he was speaking and everything. Like now it's like black and white, like he's changed so much. But yeah, no, definitely. And more representation of that, which I think is great with your guys' show as well, and having more Pacific Island communities put on spotlight a bit more. And man, so WA Rugby, obviously you've seen from the beginning, the highs, the lows. And I've always there was a point where they obviously they tried to get rid of the Western Force at that point. And I was very much on the other side of the fence going, it needs to be there. It's half the country really. And on top of it, the want is there every single time. Whenever the Force is doing well, the stadium's packed to the rafters, and you've seen those eras. Can you just speak on, I guess, the want for rugby union in WA and what you've seen firsthand? And is it growing from a club level and from a grassroots level?
Yeah, well, when I was there, obviously, they were pumping those crowds, and it was unreal to play in front of the sea of blue. And they were pretty loyal for a long time because they went through a fair few lows while I was there. A lot of change of head coaches and that, but so many South Africans, so many Kiwis, so many people from the UK live over there who love rugby. Obviously, I don't think it's going to get the limelight as AFL, because that's huge over the West Coast, Eagles and the Fremantle Dockers. It's huge, but there's a space for rugby in Western Australia. And I was gutted. I was talking to Peck when because I was in Japan at the time, and when they got kicked out that time, and mate, he was like, what the hell's just happened here? We don't have a team anymore. And it was just, he was saying it was really dark, about playing for that. But look, the club footy scene's massive. Over there, it's got good rivalry. But it's hard to say. I can't really comment on it now because I haven't been there for a while in terms of the talent pool. But they've produced some really good footy players. Dane Halapeti, Kieran Longbottom, Kane Kortecker. There's definitely unreal footy players over there, and the Western Force will do well. But it's just a matter of, again, it's Australian rugby thing. So it's not a Western Australian thing needs to sort of try and fit in. It's Australian rugby trying to make sure that we have sustainable pathways to be able to feed our 5 Super Rugby teams and not leave anyone out in the lurch like that. I feel like there's a lot of, from the top down, I feel like there's maybe a fair few silos happening because I do a lot of stuff with grassroots footy as well. And even I just feel like there's teams that would only have a couple of teams, in their club. But there's a team down the road that's got 7, but they wouldn't want to join because, no, I'm not doing that. But so it's almost like they'd rather see it fold than have people playing rugby. So we just need more kids playing rugby, and the Western Force are a part of that. The Melbourne Rebels are. We've got enough kids playing the game. It's just making sure that we've got a unified approach to be able to, create Wallabies from the ages of 6 and 7 and building that dream.
Yeah, definitely, bro. And I guess in the back end of your career as well, I play for the Sunwolves and Panasonic Wild Knights. What I guess it's wild. We always hear every year players shooting off to Japan. The money's great. Seems like everything's run bloody brilliantly. What's the rugby culture up there like? Because it just seems like I don't know. I've got so many mates that shoot up there and then you never see any of their games. We don't really see it. We don't tune in as Aussies into the Japanese comps as much, I would say. But did you notice a big culture change and the love for the sport up there? Because I know it is nuts.
Yeah, it's huge. So over there, I'm not sure if you were, but I'm pretty sure you are like that. Everyone, you play for companies over there. So I was with Coca-Cola and Panasonic. Mitsubishi's got a team, and I think something like Mitsubishi, we probably associate them more with cars, but mate, they make missiles,
air cons, bloody the whole kit and caboodle.
Tanks. Yeah, mate, they're huge. So
did you say missiles?
Yeah, mate, they make at their facilities. At their facilities, their training ground, you will see, they're training and they've got them on the bloody on the trailers, and they're just taking them into the shop. These big missiles.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there's shells of them. Yeah. It's like holy dooly. I thought
that'd be a sick team name. The Mitsubishi missiles.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be a sick team name.
Jeez.
Yeah, they should be.
Sign us up.
They're called the Dynamos, so I don't know, if it means dynamite and pigs, but I don't know.
Propose a rebranding.
Yeah, mate, you're not wrong. You should get that over there. But the best experience, I learned probably more about rugby over there than I probably did in Oz. What's appealing about going over there? You get to rub shoulders with probably the best in the world. It's a who's who of rugby over there. Look at Daniel Heenan. He just retired this year. Big spud. He's 40, 41. You know what I mean? He made his Wallaby debut in 2001.
Yeah, bro, because he would come and coach us down at UQ in between seasons as well. And so, yeah, big Dan Heenan, mate. That's good to hear. Mate, he's finally out.
Mate, he's the GOAT, bro. Mate, he would have been on good. He was on good coin, but just stuff like So he loved it because he was able to do 6 months on, 6 months off. So he earned the right to it, mate. He was like, he's like a god over in Panasonic. He's won 4 championships with him. And because the reason why they love, I guess, a lot of the foreigners as well, because a lot of them are still company workers. So even to this day, like a lot of the Japanese boys aren't full time.
Yep.
Because of the whole job for life thing over there, like players with the option to be able to go professional or stay as amateur, and a lot of them will still choose to stay amateur because once they understand, once they finish rugby, they just got to go work for the company full time. And the thing that I loved about that, even going to Coke, like playing with Camo, and that, like, it has its ups and downs, but like they loved rugby that much because they were able to get off work. So the guys they were the vendors, they were the boys who stocked the vending machines. They would start at 6 a.m. and then finish at midday because they could get off work to come and train. Yeah. So they love that. They just love it, and you just saw that they just wanted to. And they got a relentless work ethic. Sometimes for the bad reasons. So like if they've been taught to train a skill, they'll train it exactly that way until the cows come home. But that skill could be the wrong way, or not the correct way, or times have evolved or whatever. But it's hard to break that habit. They've just done thousands of hours doing it, and it was like, even when I was at, bro, we had to go to work on Monday mornings when I went there. Like, so we got in a suit. Yeah, we got in a suit. So myself, Nick Cummins, Tim Bateman, a guy named Solomon King, and Tim Lafayette, the foreigners. We all lived in the apartment blocks next to Coca-Cola. And then, so we had to get in our suits, ride our push bike to the facilities, and go from there. Like every Monday morning, they were sitting there and talk about their week. It's all in Japanese. Talk about their week, whatever they talk about. I couldn't understand shit. But
what was your job?
I don't know. We just sat at the table. But you couldn't even really talk to one another because it was like. Everything was like you could hear a pin drop, and then you just like go. So you just see going like that, and then a guy would come out and go, just give us a nod, and then we'd leave like after about 2 hours, and then so we had to do that. And I was like, holy shit, what are we doing? And like it was weird. And then they said we had to start like because we lost a fair few games playing for Coke, and then we had to like start apologizing for losing.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So like, so the translator had to come with us, and then like they'll do like whatever they was. So he was talking. He goes, oh yeah, they're talking about their sales. They're talking about who's having their days off this week. And then so the guy would ask a question such and such on Wednesday, who wants it off, and someone will put their hand up and they go, okay, you can have it off. So the guy's translating this, and then he would go, okay, one of you guys have to say sorry for losing on the weekend. And then they're like, yep, dozo means go ahead, and then you go, simasen. ごめんなさい。来週頑張ります. So excuse me, I'm sorry. We'll try our best next week. So every week we did that for about 12 weeks straight.
That's wild.
It's just like a conference call.
So like, things like that, bro. Was just like, oh, man, out of it. Like I remember as well. Like I remember I chucked rubbish in the wrong bin, and over there, so like, your water bottles, so a cap would go in one bin, the label would go in another bin, and then the bottle would go in another bin. And so like, and so they've got like these system where it's like burnables and all that type of stuff. And I remember coming out of the car park, I had this bloody big laundry bottle from the Costco, looked at it, all in Japanese. I was like, fuck it, I'll just chuck it in the bin like that. There it goes in. And this guy comes steaming out, goes, hey, you, Gaigokujin, like you're the white guy or foreigner. But like like just give me the big cross, like dame. I was like, whoa, what's going on here? And he's taking the rubbish back out and he's giving it to me and told me to go home. And I was like, oh shit, what have I done here? So next day, no word of a lie, get called into the office. And then mate, the translator's in there and just sort of like, oh, you're in trouble. And I was like, what do you mean? What for? What have I done? Bro, so that the guy's got his, on the whiteboard like this, and he's drawing like the car park like that. He goes, Samu, yep, car park, yeah. Like, and Johnny goes, this is you walking. I was like, yeah. He goes, this is the bin, yeah. He goes, rubbish bin, no. You need to. Bro, I had to go and I had to get in my suit because I was saying because he's got a Coca-Cola.
Go apologise again.
But I had to go apologise again.
Just fucking apologise.
It's the same room. It's the same group of people.
Oh mate, so I've gone in there because he goes. They've gone. Oh, because he's got a Coca-Cola vending machine. He was saying that he might go to Pepsi. And then I was saying, you need to go buy him a present, get in your suit. So, mate, I'm just sitting there, and the company guys are there. I'm just sitting there, head down, like as if I've kicked his cat or bloody murdered someone. And it's like, Simasen. So I got used to saying Simasen Gomenasai a lot when I was.
Every week for you, you're just apologising for a new thing.
Yes, everything, bro. Everything.
I feel like the Wallaby should have to do that after last weekend.
Yeah.
Just get Nella to get up and be like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, bro, we'll finish up there. We'll let you get back to the family, bro. But thank you very much for coming on today, man. We're big fans here, and we're hoping that everything is going awesome for you off the field with your grassroots stuff, and then also killing it on the ABC at the moment, and hopefully many more media opportunities come your way as well.
No, I appreciate it, boys. Thanks for having it. And honestly, from, I guess, past players, I think you guys and guys like Pack Athletic and that, I feel like you guys are doing a lot of justice for rugby in terms of getting content out there, and because I enjoy like listening to your stuff, watching the stuff on Instagram as well. It keeps me updated. So especially for club footy stuff, it's unreal. So mate, I appreciate what you guys are doing as well.
Legend, bro. Appreciate that. Thank you very much, man. Rightio. Fuck yeah. Sammy Wykes, an absolute legend. I got the fuck around that, I'm sure. And he probably wasn't hugely familiar with him growing up being a dirty league.
Well, I was a big Western Force fan through the Rugby 08 realm. So the opposite.
And Sammy Wykes was on it as well, which is fucking gun. But
bro, that story about the insane sorry that
apologizing in Japan over and over and over. Like formal.
To get in the suit.
He's like, I had to get back in the suit, and it's like, oh my god. It's so funny because he's like being polite shit, but also I'm imagining like 4 huge rugby players like with his big hair and everything, like on a bike in a suit, like going like, I'm sorry. And these fucking Coca-Cola workers are sitting there going like, who the fuck are you guys? But yeah, make sure you go check out everything Sam Wykes. Go check out his show on the ABC if you're keen on that. And then also give him a follow on the Instagram as well. That's where a bunch of his content for that sort of stuff comes out as well. But yeah, cheers, Sammy. And we'll fucking get you on again and hopefully have a few more fucking footy guests in the next couple of weeks. But mate, let's get a bit dirty. We'll get back to what we know best, and that is pisshead with the footy problem. And this week we have a cunt that weirdly we both connected on simultaneously, like our grubby magnet tactics, I would say, if you will, are starting to kind of morph.
Yeah. We knew before communicating that this was going to.
This was our guy. Yeah. So I was talking about him on the weekend, but mate, I feel like you've done a shitload of the deep dive on this one. Like, I already had like some stuff that I knew about and all that, but you've got the fresh goss. So.
Fuck my phone.
Your phone?
Yeah.
What are you looking for?
Anyway, I'll spitball it, but...
go grab it if you need it.
Yeah.
I'll talk to the fucking fellas. Boys, I actually have to just fucking apologise. I didn't even know what the start of this pod's even going to look like because it has just been an editing fucking nightmare. Everything with this podcast, week in, week out, goes wrong. Don't worry about that. Now I've got fucking Ahad walking around looking for his phone, bro. Oh my God. We actually have to be like one of the shittest potties in the world, let alone the fucking state or country. So
what are we talking about?
We appreciate you for fucking sticking around with us as per usual.
So back at the footy problem. So Wayne Carey is our guy this week. I mean,
Wayne Carey. So for those that don't know, ex-AFL superstar. Like, he was a big fucking deal. Playing for North Melbourne. Believe won a chip with them as well, early 2000s. Was it 2000?
No, I think it was 96.
96, okay, radio. But as far as we know, bit of a piece of shit.
Huge piece of shit.
Huge piece of shit. Huge piece of shit.
So basically, why he's popping up into our sphere?
He's in our vicinity.
He is in the news this week. So this is the kind of most redeeming story of his, I guess, if you go through his Wikipedia controversies. So he's at the blackjack table at the Crown Casino in Perth.
Crown Casino should be like actually sponsored by Crown.
Yeah, I think they are.
Nah, the Crown ain't the same.
Vice versa.
Wait, what?
Crown's sponsored by Crown Casino.
Is that true?
I guess.
That's complete cap.
I don't know.
That's complete cap.
Because they all drink Crowns there, and it's like very like that's like what I think of when I think of Crown.
Yeah, no.
It's like,
they're definitely they aren't affiliated. They cannot be affiliated. Violent drinking and gambling. I mean, they go hand in hand.
Yes.
They go hand in hand.
Yeah.
But
we need to research that. But that's for a later date. So anyway, he's at the Crown Casino in Perth, probably drinking Crowns.
Probably.
Unrelatedly.
Yeah, unrelatedly at the Crown Casino drinking Crowns. I could almost say definitely was drinking Crowns.
Yeah. So he's at the blackjack table. He's like, hit me. And then his fucking bag of Coke falls on the table. The dealer's like, calls the pit boss over like
the blackjack dealer, by the way. That could have got
Wayne Carey's dealer was stuck in the wind, dude. He was gone. He was in the Uber on the way home. So yeah, they call the pit boss over there like, Wayne Carey's here. He's just like, his bag's fallen out onto the table. Like, I feel like we should address this.
Yeah.
And then Wayne Carey's like very compliant as he knows he's done.
He's fucked.
Yeah, and he's like, I know what this looks like, but it's not illegal. It's just a bat. And they're like, is it yours though? And he's like, it is mine. And they're like, what is it? And he was like, oh, they're just crushed up pseudoephedrine.
Or didn't he say it was like anti-inflammatories or some shit?
Yeah, like, whatever, like Voltaren.
Yeah, he said some bullshit. First things first, let's just get that one out the way. When the fuck have you ever taken arguably any form of medication in powder form, bro? Like,
you're going to the casino, crushing up
your Panadol or whatever.
Into a small baggie. Your mate's like, dude, you probably shouldn't do that because if someone finds it, they're going to think it's coke. You're like, no, bro.
No, they could never.
I'll explain that it's anti-inflammatory. He's like, yeah, but then I'll simply explain that. No, that's the worst fucking idea. If you did do that, if it was anti-inflammatory, you deserve to be kicked out anyway because you're a fucking idiot.
You're a fuckwit because they definitely didn't sell it to you in a powdered form.
Wayne Carey just crushing up anti-inflammatory.
Oh, bro.
Bro, you have a known coke problem. You probably shouldn't do that. But that's in the bizarre world that he's telling the truth. Obviously, it's cocaine. They kicked him out.
100% cocaine.
His defense was, it's not illegal to have a baggie of white powder. It's like, it actually is.
Yeah, when it's cocaine, it is. So, like, is there... So what? He said it's not illegal to do this or that. Who the fuck's he saying that to? Are police involved at this point?
No, because he just left. And like that's more to your point that you
did he just bail?
Yeah, he's like, and they...
And he got away with it?
He's banned from 2 years. Well, the casino's like, we're not the police. Like, just get out. Like,
yeah, but surely they'd call a cop or get somebody involved like immediately.
Have you ever been kicked out of a club for drugs, for having a baggie or anything?
No, not for that.
Well, they don't call the cops. They just say, get the fuck out.
Yeah, fair.
Like,
fair. They don't I don't know. I would have just assumed, like, on a blackjack table, like, how surveillance, like, fucking casinos and shit are these days?
In the bar,
it's not like he's in fucking Oh Hello. Like, he's like, literally the pit boss, like, everyone, like, there's so many fucking people and cameras and, like, I don't know. I feel like that's, like, a pretty fucking big deal.
Not their business. They just, like, get the fuck out. He's banned for 2 years.
Either way, it's fucking all over the news, which is fucking enough.
Yeah. But his whole thing was, like, you don't know it's cocaine. Like it's not illegal to have a white powder in a bag. It's like, well, it is. If it's cocaine, like
tell that to Conor McGregor.
Yeah. But yeah, so then I saw like these like tweets going out, and it's like, And I thought it was kind of like PC bullshit because I really didn't do much reading into Kerry before this.
And one thing for anyone that's wondering why this is like a big deal, ex-AFL player or whatever, he still currently has positions in commentating and presenting on Channel 7 for the AFL.
Yeah, that's why he was in Perth because the Fremantle game, he was commenting for Channel 7 and someone like tweeted out like, you know, the fact that he's now dropped because he got caught with a baggie, but his history of like, you know, domestic violence is fine that he's on Channel 7.
Right. So it was the baggie that broke the camel's back.
Well, I mean, I agree with this chick. It's like the fact that they still hide him and have him on Channel 7.
Post-assault.
Yeah. And I'm not a fan of cancelling people, but when you look at his rap sheet, this motherfucker needed to be cancelled years ago. Years ago. He should have been cancelled before cancel culture was a thing.
Well, the big one, the first thing that I ever heard about Wayne Carey was what I was mentioning to you is that in the early 2000s, I believe 2002, when he was playing for North Melbourne, huge club at the time, like very successful, he slept with Andrew Stevens' wife, who was on the same team. So he pulled a full Cody Simpson, Kyle Chalmers sitch, except I feel like this is way worse.
Way worse, dude.
Cody came into the mix of the swimming team, like he's a celebrity. Swimming also, it's like a bit like, you see him at training. And it's exactly. Yeah. Whereas footy, bro, like that's your family. That's your blood, bro. Like there at that club, there needs to be so much trust involved. And also like your wife. Yeah. Not your misso, not nothing. It wasn't like a...
And he had a wife at the time as well.
Oh, bro. Yes. Bro, fucking your teammate's misso has to probably be the most like fucked cardinal sin in sports.
Yeah.
I think there's anything that can be forgived from that. And I think it's a true testament to your character. Because let's be real, Wayne Carey, big baller at the time. If he wanted to cheat, which I'm sure he fucking did a shitload of times outside of that. But like, you know what I mean? It's like, you got so many options. Why the fuck would you choose your mate's misso, you dog? Like, it's just yuck to me.
Fucking egregious, a true piece of shit.
But that also broke that team up. Like, fucking fragmented friendships, fucked up their season, fucked up so many things. Like, so they're as simple as saying like, oh, he slept with his mate's misso, it's dog. It's more like, you took down a club essentially with that shit.
A
like
premiership winning like side.
And you're meant to be the G.
Yeah, he was like the captain. But that isn't even on the fucking Mount Rushmore of scumbag Wayne Carey moves. Like that is like his story that he would tell to defend his character. Like that's like the time he's like, oh, I only.
But I only did this.
Yeah. Like, no, well, let's go through and mind you, this is Wikipedia controversies, so take it with a grain of salt. But I mean,
I'm going to take it like it's fucking
facts.
law.
It's facts. Yeah, this is in 1997, Carey pleaded guilty. Like, I mean, that's pretty lock solid.
Yeah.
pleaded guilty to indecent assault after grabbing a passing woman's breast on a Melbourne City street after drinking for 12 hours with teammates. He allegedly told her, why don't you get a bigger pair of tits? Which is just fucking egregious to like a strange woman.
Carey, come on, Wayne.
At least
Wayne. Wayne, what are you doing? No, let's not just fucking brush past the tit grab, dude. Like, fuck me. Like, this dude, So what? He's been caught with a bag of white powder. He's fucked his teammates, misso, had a huge affair there. He's also sexually assaulted a passing by woman who was doing absolutely nothing wrong, groped her, and then made disgusting remarks to her as well. So we're 3 from 3 on the heinous list.
2000, Carey provided
more
character evidence. There's a fuckload more for Jason Moran, an infamous gangster who was subsequently murdered in the Gill. So he's now a character witness.
So he's a fucking informant.
2004, while on the holiday. I shouldn't laugh because this is genuinely like heinous behaviour.
Oh, I mean, the woman one wasn't funny. The informant is fucking hilarious.
So yeah, in 2004, basically he's had like 6 charges against him for assaulting his wife.
Oh, fuck.
In 2006, he left his pregnant wife for another model, and his daughter was born 6 weeks later. And then in 2006, he was reported, the new misso, the model that he left his pregnant wife for, reported him to the police for domestic violence. Allegedly punched her in the face. So, and then there was this story in New York where so 2008, Kerry was arrested, reports for disturbance of the peace at his
with Matt Lodge.
Yeah. This is like a Matt Lodge on fucking roids, which Matt Lodge probably is. But so, this is the one that I wanted to talk about because this was fucking outrageous. So 2 days later, the Nine Network announced it would not renew Kerry's television contract. That's fucking
now
smart after like 5 years of domestic assault.
Like 20 years of fucking
being the
piece of shit.
Yeah. So after he had been arrested and charged with assaulting a police officer and Nielsen, who's the model wife.
A cop?
So in Florida in 2007, he allegedly glassed Nielsen, who was his then wife, in the face with a neck with a wine glass. And then Police Lieutenant Bill Swartz of the Miami Police Department, to stop Kerry harming himself and damaging the car, the officers put a lethal hobble restraint around his hands and legs. Kerry faced up to 15 years in jail and 30 grand in fines. Additionally, Kerry was fired from his commentary job. How does he still have jobs? How does he still have jobs? He should not be getting...
Oh, my God.
He should not be facing 15 years. And they're like, Kerry, we think we're going to take you off your talk radio show. I was like,
hey, Wayne, look, mate, can you just come to my office for a sec? Look, it's been getting a little bit dicey lately. It's not you. We still love you. We still love you. We obviously understand it gets a little bit frantic at these points. But, the baggy, you also fucking had sex with one of the boys' wives in the team. Also, the 6 years of assaulting your misso and then causing grievous bodily harm. We think that it might be best that you step from the radio station.
And just scheduling wise, while you're doing that 15-year sentence, I'm not sure if we can, obviously we'll try and figure out a way to do it.
Yeah. Every time everyone forgets, we'll get you back on. Yeah. You know what I mean? We'll just keep rinsing and repeating until you eventually die.
He should have been fired from all employment after he molested a bystander.
I'll give you one fucking word that'll define why it was chill. 2000s.
Yeah, exactly.
It was the fucking Wild West, bro. You didn't know which way to look.
So when he was facing the 15 years in prison, ultimately Kerry pleaded guilty to assaulting and resisting Miami police. In exchange for his guilty pleas, prosecutor agreed that Kerry should only serve 50 hours of community service and attend an alcohol and anger management class and serve 2 years probation and pay $500 to Miami police charity. In 2008, Kerry publicly revealed he was a long-standing problem abuser of alcohol. Okay, yeah, you think.
Yeah, fuck off.
After 10 years of that. And then just obviously the baggy stuff as well. So he's got a pretty hectic rap sheet.
Honestly, as we've always said, Piss Head with the Footy Problem is a role that it's an honour. You know what I mean? You are in a team of people that we so highly respect for
it's
your...
flawed but endearing.
Yes.
Ultimately...
the Piss Head with a Footy Problem is one of your best mates you invite to an engagement party that you're a bit iffy about, and he's not trying to do anything, but he slips and falls through the cake. You know what I mean? Exactly. It's one of those things you're fuck, he means well.
Yeah, he does it every time, but
I reckon I'm gonna have to put my foot down and say Wayne Kerry is in a league of his own.
Yeah,
he doesn't deserve. We don't just Craig Gower and she doesn't deserve to be. Bailey Smith doesn't deserve to be in the same fucking team as that fucking pig.
But yeah, Kerry's more, it's his personality. Gower, it's him when he gets fucked.
It's like the Hulk.
Go to the extra. Yeah, exactly. Kerry just seems Monday to Sunday, a piece of shit.
Yeah. Honestly, first things first, I apologise to Sam Wykes for having that follow your fucking interview. But one thing I will say is that Wayne Kerry, I hope nothing but the worst. I'm hoping that this is a roll-on effect of this is the tip of the baggie. You know what I mean? Because just like us, we're doing God's work here by spreading, exposing this fuck for who he is. And I hope that more people sniff out Sniff out the fucking like more to him than meets the eye, because even prior to this fucking baggy sitch, it's all fun and games, but the fact that he actually had a fucking job for 6 years on telly, wild, and I bet you could find fucking stories of Wayne Carey talking shit about boys off-field antics, you know what I mean? You can't sit in a position, like, if you're in a fucking booth talking about players, you better be either the biggest legend that's ever fucking hit the sport, like or us. You fucking, like us, or, no, I mean like an actual, like, commentating booth or whatever.
Broadcaster.
Yeah, exactly, like, properly reporting, or you better be fucking silky smooth and clean, baby, because that motherfucker, I'm sure there's a lot of players that don't get the fuck around him for his, on mic activities, and
how the fuck does he still have a job? It
doesn't make any sense, bro. I don't understand how he has a fucking job. Like, honestly, the baggy shit. The thing is, like, piss off with the footy problem. Like, the baggy instance of the cast, that's fun.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah, trying to play it off as anti-inflammatory. That's a veteran move. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Exactly. It's great. It's a great move, but it's really shown the rest of the fucking character that is Wayne Carey. And after that, it's just like, bro, class, you miss.
Yeah, I was hoping that I was going to open up his Wikipedia controversies and there would be some light-hearted, fun, Gower type antics. Yeah. But it wasn't. I was just I didn't want to fucking go up here and say this.
It's dark. Yeah, it's like really dark.
Yeah.
The missos and shit. Like, God.
Yeah.
It's just wild. It's honestly too much.
And the fact he had a job on Channel.
Oh, the fact that he...
Bananas.
Oh, bro.
And you see, like, some people... like,
and then hiring him back. Like,
he'll be back, dude.
He will be back.
If he didn't get fined from that, how the fuck... Surely this isn't going to stick.
If we're the reason Wayne Carey doesn't have a job...
Yeah, that'd be sick.
I'll be fucking very stoked.
Yeah.
I'll fight Wayne Carey in a boxing ring.
That's his next move.
That is, to fight me.
Celebrity boxing.
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone's going to want to touch him besides me. So I'll fucking take care of the cunt. Anywho, fucking, we may as well finish it off with that quickly before this camera runs out for the 18th time, this fucking potty. Yep. We should maybe go through our weekly news real quick.
Weekly news, okay, yep. Do we have the...
No,
that's next week.
We don't.
Next week.
This is a real bootleg one.
Yeah.
We've pretty much put all of it into Sam Wykes.
Well, now it's just that was a ripper interview.
Thank God the interview was fine, because everything around it's fucking making me sick.
Yeah, that
between me fucking not losing any weight and fucking Wayne Carey
assaulting everything that comes across his fucking path.
He's become like a fucking UFC fighter.
Yeah. Let's talk nutsacks, I guess.
Oh, yeah, nutbags.
So, Tom Dearden, halfback for the Cowboys, ruptured his testicle in a game, which then he went on to continue to play, scored 2 tries in the second half.
With the fucked up nutbag?
Yeah, with the fucked up nutbag. So there's circulating rumours that he, because they were like, a ruptured testicle takes 2 to 4 weeks to recover. We'll fix it up, which would be obviously the most painful thing.
I've had cunts like stomp on my dick and balls in footy with like studs. And there is no, what's fucked is like whenever anything happens in rugby, and I'm sure there's a lot of boys that have played can attest to this, is like when you got like a boot or something like really hard and like impactful, like your first thought is there's got to be blood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you go like, because it hurts, like it's not like getting sack whacked or something. It feels like someone's like ripped your dick off and you're like, and you stick your hand down your pants and you're like, oh my God. And you're like, oh, it's clear, thank God. Like, but it feels like literally, like, so if you actually ruptured your nut, I can't help but think it would be like.
What is a ruptured nut?
Fuck it, who cares? Let's get to the fun stuff of it.
Yeah, so anyway, so they were saying that he, so it was the win over the Warriors. So that was 2 weeks ago. He then played the rest of that game. He sat out this week, but they were saying that apparently they told him you might miss the finals, and he was like, I'm not going to miss the finals to wait for my nuts to recover. Why don't we just cut them off?
So let's be clear as well. We saw this in a fucking article. We do not know.
I'm believing it.
Yeah, we may as well just believe it. But again, take it with a fucking huge grain of salt.
If it was anyone else other than a Queenslander like Tom Dearden, who literally this year had to replace the greatest rugby league
Tommy
player
Dearden was the fucking Origin player. Mate, he's so sick.
Yeah. And they've said,
I actually have watched him play a little bit with the boys.
It's Monday before State of Origin. We need you to replace the greatest rugby player in the world right now in one of the biggest Game 3 deciders.
In Australia.
Against one of the best New South Wales
Wouldn't say in the
teams of
world, I'd say
last
Australia, because your shit sport is bound by this island.
What did I say? The biggest game of the year.
You said the best player in the world, rugby
the
league.
best rugby league player in the world.
Yeah, that's what I mean. No one watches it anywhere else.
Yeah, well, he's the best rugby league player in the world.
Yeah, that's like fucking the Super Bowl world champs.
Exactly, world champs. Who's going to beat him?
Fuck, I'm next season. Everyone listening, next season, I'm coming. I'm getting rid of my league fandom. I'm coming back, baby. I hate you.
It lasted like 2 weeks. Yeah, so anyway,
because you guys suck.
This guy lived up to the monster shoes, so I believe that he was willing to lose his nut for the game.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, there's our players like such as Angus Crichton, who I played with a little bit, and then also like Pat Morey recently did the same thing down at UQ, cutting their fucking fingers off because the surgery is just going to take too long. It's too fucking weird. I've also heard that. Yeah, I've also heard it's not even a time thing. Sometimes it's actually just the functionality of the finger. So you just chop it off. When it comes to a nut,
That's next level shit.
I personally think that if you remove a nut to win a footy game, and I'd say like grand finals are the only reason that you would do this, if at all. But let's just say, hey, GF, got to chop the nut off. I feel like there needs to be a guarantee in the contract to get paid a sum of money for that game. Like, as in, like, if I'm getting my nut cut off, I'm getting my left nut cut off to play for the club and then inevitably probably win them a game, I want $500,000.
A dude that would cut his nut off for the money is not cutting his nut off anyway. Like, he doesn't care about the money. The fact a dude that's willing to cut his nut off only cares about the game.
Yeah, I personally...
He's married to the game. They would offer him money and he says, no, I want the fucking trophy. If you can guarantee me the trophy, that's the only thing I get.
I just personally don't think that Dearden is that guy.
1,000%. Tom different is what I'm going to call him.
No, dude, he ain't different. No one's getting rid of their nut to win a footy game, bro.
This guy is.
He ain't.
You're
eating the onion, bro. No, the more that we talk about this, the more I realize this has to be cap.
Yeah, but I believe it.
Yeah, if you want to believe it, that's fine. But also, I wouldn't even respect him. I'd be like, you're so dumb that you're going to, like, mutilate yourself to fucking
lose to the
potentially.
Panthers.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if he cut his nut off, won the fucking GF, and then it's just too many variabilities.
New South Wales player doing this, even a fake article, you'd never hit because no one would believe that shit.
Yeah, I guess it's just like
Tom Dearden is literally one of the only guys I would believe that.
A nut is so personal to a man.
It's literally the one thing that like try and say something else. Ear, nose, finger, fucking toes.
I'd definitely get rid of a nut before my nose.
That's what I'm saying. Wait, what?
I'd get rid of a nut before I'd get rid of my nose, bro. What are you gonna walk around like Voldemort, bro? Just get rid of one nut. You've only got one nose.
It's a nut.
What do you mean?
It's a fucking testicle.
Just come out the other one, bro. Like, what do you mean? You're going to cut your nose off over one nut.
I don't want to lose my nut in any circumstance.
Jeez, you go nose.
The whole nose? Is it just a hole?
No, your whole nose.
Yeah, what would be there? Just a hole.
Like Voldemort.
Yeah. I'd take the Voldemort.
That's wild.
Do I win the premiership?
Nah, you lose to the Panthers.
he's like in the change room after the game. They lost by like 16 points. It wasn't that exciting. It was kind of like they knew they were losing the whole time.
I lost my fucking nut for this.
Fucking hell, bro. Everyone's like, hope you're good, bro.
You see, that's the thing. I just do not believe that.
It's almost jogged to the rest of your team. Do you know how much fucking pressure there is on that game?
For the nut.
Tommy lost his nut.
Yeah.
You can't catch the fucking ball. Like, what are you
doing? Bro. I don't know. I think it's wild that people even cut.
Come on, guys! I lost my nuts. Hey guys, how's it going? He's trying to do a
He's a chick. But yeah, bro, it's a weird one. Like, I don't know. Even the cutting off the fingers is pretty gnarly, but like, I'd cut off a finger.
Yeah,
Like, as in, like, I would genuinely do that in my real life. A nut, I would just retire.
Maybe that's the punishment for not losing a couple pound of flesh.
What, lose my nut?
No, lose your finger.
Oh, bro, what do you
Legs,
mean?
we fucking take it off.
You're not... Yeah, fuck. Rightio. Very chop and changed episode. Yep. Hopefully you fucking came for the interview. That's the main part about all this. Got a good guest. And there will be many more good guests to come. We've got the biggest loser next week. It'll be back to our normal shenanigans. And we'll have the full show ready to rock. So get keen for that. We're fucking loving the support at the moment, guys. Everyone's been messaging us, getting the fuck around it. We're growing, which is fucking awesome. So... you're making it all possible for us. So keep getting around us. Like, subscribe, follow us on everything. Get around Sammy Wykes, and we'll fucking see you next week, baby boys.